Hello security gurus, welcome to this new lecture. In this lecture, we are going to talk about DevSecOps Maturity Model. DevSecOps Maturity Model is used to define and measure the maturity of a secure SDLC development process, where as per the current state of the secure SDLC process, a level is assigned to your DevSecOps process. Now we need to understand what are the stages in a DevSecOps maturity model, how we can move from one stage to the next stage, as this is the work of DevSecOps engineer to improve from one stage and move to the next stage of DevSecOps maturity model. In layman terms, you can compare it with CMM level of an organization. The way an organization improves its processes, it moves from CMM level 1 to CMM level 2 up till CMM level 5. Similarly, DevSecOps maturity model assigns you stage 1, stage 2 till stage 5 based on the maturity of your processes. So let's jump into the action. Let's first understand what is this framework. Now, this framework helps organizations to understand and improve their DevSecOps practices. You can see it helps to understand and improve the DevSecOps practices, and this is specifically for DevSecOps. You might be hearing it for the first time, but it's very popular in the enterprise environment. It defines a set of best practices and capabilities that organizations can achieve in order to improve security quality of their software development and delivery process. So it means that the more mature your software development process and more mature your secure software development lifecycle is, the better is your DevSecOps maturity model level. Now, there are few stages that we have identified from various versions of DevSecOps maturity model. So let's see those stages. First stage is ad hoc. Now, this is the basic stage where you are still thinking about security and security is not integrated in your software development process. So your development process is at ad hoc stage. Your DevSecOps maturity model will be assigned ad hoc stage, and you have not started the journey. Then there is a stage called repeatable. In this stage, security practices have been established. It means that security teams are working, but they are not integrated with the development team. Development team and security teams, they are working in silos. There is no connect between these two teams. If this is the current state, then you are at repeatable stage of DevSecOps maturity model, then defined, where the security practices are integrated into the software development process, and there are some standard policies, procedures which are documented and defined. So it means that you have defined such security standard procedures and policies. Your security teams are working along with the development team. Security policies are integrated into software development process. For an example, if development teams are writing code, then a security review is also being performed on the code written by dev team. So it means it is at the defined stage. But to move to the managed stage, security practices needs to be continuously monitored. It means that any security review that is happening, it needs to be reviewed. How many security vulnerabilities have been identified? If there is some application deployed, we need to check how many security vulnerabilities have been identified in that dash scan, so that we can improve the efficiency and effectiveness of the security practices that have been implemented. So we're at the managed stage, but the best stage is optimizing, where we are continuously improving the security practices. Now, for an example, if suppose there is a dash tool that you are using for identifying security vulnerabilities in a web application for performing dash scan, but it's not producing good results. In that case, you will try to find a better dash solution, and this will be your optimizing stage, where you are trying to improve the security practices. There is a security champion who is continuously introducing automation, introducing better security processes that will define your optimizing stage of DevSecOps maturity model. Now, each stage represents an increase in the level of integration and automation of security practices. As I mentioned, as we will move from one stage to the other, and to the next stage, it means that we are improving the integration of security practices and we are introducing some kind of automation within these processes. Now, let's see the DevSecOps maturity model by OASP. This is the DevSecOps maturity model published by OASP. So you can see it. It's called as DSOMM. You can call it as DevSecOps maturity model. DSO stands for DevSecOps, MM stands for maturity model. You can see this graph here which shows the maturity level from 1 to 4, and we can see more information about this graph by clicking on this link. Let's open it. Now, this is the important information that we need to understand. As you can see, there are various levels that are defined here. Level 1 is basic understanding of security practice. Level 2 is adoption of security practice. 3 is high adoption. And 4 is advanced deployment of security practice at scale. Now, there are some dimensions. Dimension means some areas that have been defined, like build and deployment is one phase. Under build and deployment, build is one phase. Then under build and deployment is sub-dimension or sub-area. Similarly, patch management is sub-area. Now, in each sub-dimension, there are levels of improvement. So level 1 is the basic process, and as you will start implementing or following these best practices, you will start improving your development process, and in turn your overall DevSecOps maturity model level will increase. So the target here is to reach at level 4 in each dimension and sub-dimension. So this was all about DevSecOps maturity model. You can go through it. Now, as a DevSecOps engineer, you will be asked in an enterprise environment, what is the current DevSecOps maturity model of the development process that is in place and how we can improve it. So, you need to have this basic understanding of these models, then only you can suggest some improvements, and that's how you will improve the overall DevSecOps maturity level. I hope you have enjoyed this information that I shared with you and it's new for you. I hope you have enjoyed this lecture. Thanks for watching. See you in the next lecture.